Hi guys, thanks for joining me and welcome to Daliso Sports Show. A little catch up on the Zambia versus Angola game at the CHAN championships that has just finished, where Zambia lost 2-1 to Angola. A very disappointing result. It was one of those games, like you can tell Zambia not very good, Angola not very good, and these teams were sort of like, balanced. Early on I was like, they're not amazing, and we did really well for such a long time. The only thing I think a lot of Zambians need to be aware of, we are watching way too much European football and Premier League football and Spanish football, and we unfairly attribute those skills or see those skills and think, oh, this is how our players should be playing as well. Why can't they play like that? If you could just understand the levels, the difference in levels you have to be to go and even like play for a third team, for like Spanish B, C team. It's just something else. The levels are different. Here, children 7 years old, they are signed to a club now. 6-year-olds are signing contracts to train at certain clubs. By the time you are 12, if you want to start football at all, let my child go and start playing football now. 12, 13 years old. It's too late. You've got children who started at 5 with a club. They are even being moved around clubs to see where they can get a big advantage. They are playing tournaments. So when you see these boys go out to a tournament like that, and that is why the CHAN was, I think, introduced, a lot of players were not being seen, because you find people with a bit of influence. You've already seen who's this boy who's from Scotland, who has come to play for Zambia, So things like that in the world mean like a lot of players, Makombo, and people who don't come from very well-to-do backgrounds, who got influence, are never seen. So this tournament, surely, when you see them, don't be too critical, because, they are not going to be the best players in the world, not because they're bad. In fact, they play with a lot of heart. When you see them, the way they were running, they ran themselves to the ground, but the skill was just not there to get us over the line. Francis Mwansa, I thought he was all right. He was anticipating my crosses. When the ball comes in, you find like the one-to-one with the attacker. He comes early, picks up the ball. The balls that went past him, like the second goal, it was through people's legs. How do you expect him to save that? Come on, guys. Have we started watching football yesterday where we are just insulting because we are losing? No, we shouldn't be doing that, because it doesn't help them. I'm not saying that Angola's players are playing in bigger leagues, but there are certain fundamental foundations these people have in their countries that Zambia doesn't have. So when you're insulting Faz as well, don't just insult Faz. You should insult them. But you're telling them, Kuti, you need to make sure grassroots football. You need to make sure there's some sort of organization. You just don't turn up. In fact, even like instead of waiting for Azanako to play or Wankana or whoever, we should be having my under 12 tournaments where kids like this should already be playing some sort of tournament football. Because once they go out, they see other players, something like that. It's a very, very overwhelming experience. It's a very overwhelming experience. So I'm not going to be too critical, because what I saw were people running themselves to the ground. We even went 1-0 up. I was like, whoa, this is amazing. We are doing well. And literally, the equalizer, it was at Kaporal, who came on as a substitute. He scored both of their goals. And they were good goals, It's a disappointment, but we've got a problem, Zambia. We've got a very big problem with tournament sport at the moment. Women, men. Remember our last African Nations Cup was nothing to talk about. So for the last 12 years, since 2012, we have not been able to shift momentum to go and do more. We are qualifying for tournaments. That is the basic. So now we're getting the basics right. Let's improve it. And you can't improve it if the players are all standard daddy. So chabe, what you take me at come and play football. Me, I watch when they Arsenal, when they whatever, but I'm not delusional. You see the difference between Arsenal and Barcelona, just the difference between two leagues. When Barcelona are playing, me, I even know that even in my wildest dreams, there's no way I can go and even try and even like shimmy about when Barcelona are playing. They look like they are floating. They float on the ball, those boys. Last know you can even soak tea up in me there. I think I can stand even for 5 minutes. I can manage. But levels, you see, be realistic where it comes to Zambia, and support knowing that it's gonna be difficult, because we're Zambian. Let's love our team. But yeah, it looks like they're coming out in the group stages. Avram Grant hasn't managed to do anything for us to get us anywhere where we should be right now. But I did like the approach. The players went on, and I could see some positives because my boys, they were like running, they were moving it about, they were trying to go for it. We had shots on target. We had chances that were missed. Even almost before the end, we almost equalized, but the header went just wide. So yeah, guys, let's be realistic. It's very disappointing coming out of tournaments out of Zambia. It's too stressful. But yeah, I'm here for it. I'll be watching it. But yeah, let's be realistic. But join me again if you can. Let's see when we get more towards the knockout stages of the tournament, I'll be doing more in-depth sort of, post-match and predictions. But right now I'm watching small games to see just how these boys are playing, and I will go from there. Thanks for joining me on Dalisa Sports Show. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.